continue with our problems. Now we have another problem where we need to solve for x. So this is an exponential. It's an equation with exponents. So we need to solve for x, right? So what we need to do here, we need to solve for x, and we need to solve for x without choosing a calculator. So this is an equation that involves what? Exponents, right? So now let's go about it, right? 4 minus 9 minus 8, right? So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and transpose this to become 0, and then after that I'm going to try and apply my exponential rules, right? Let's go about it. So you have 4 to the power of x minus 9 to x plus 8 equals to 0. So now because we have 0, we are going to try and factorize this such that it becomes a difference of 2 squares, right? So what our main focus will be, we are going to focus on 4, right? So we want to write 4 to have a base of 2, right? So best way we can do that, so 4 to have a base of 2, it means that we are going to have to raise 2 to the power of 2 to get a 4, right? So 4, it's the same thing as 2 squared, right? Let's do that. So now we have 2 to the power of 2x minus 9 plus 8, which is equals to 0. Right, so now we have a difference of what? We have a difference of 2 squares. Right, we have a difference of 2 squares, right? So if you don't see this properly, you can if you don't see it properly, you can say let k be equals to 2 to the power of x, right? If you don't see it properly, yeah, but we're not going to try and solve it using that way. I just don't prefer it. But yeah, if you prefer this way, you can use it. So you let k be equals to 2x. So that means that you are going to have k, right, squared minus 9k plus 8, which is equals to 0, right? So now what you have is an equation which you can factorize to become a difference of 2 squares, and then you can solve for k, right? So you are going to open 2 brackets, right? So you are going to have k, you are going to have k, right? So since we have a positive here, it means we are going to have a negative. So the factors that are going to give us, the factors of 8 that are going to give us 9, with a negative and negative, it's 8 and 1. So it's going to be 8 and 1. So k is equals to 1. Or k is equals to 8, right? So we don't finish there. We had initially said that k is equals to 2x. So we go back, right? So we are going to have 2x equals to 1, or 2 to the power of x equals to 8, right? So 1 can also be written as 2 to the power of 0. So this can also be written as 2 to the power of 0, because anything to the power of 0 is 1. Right, so we can say 2 to the power of x is equals to 2 to the power of 0, or, right, 2 to the power of x equals to, how can we raise? So what we are trying to do, we are trying to have the same basis, right? So how can we write 8 to be have a base of 2, right? So 8 to have a base of 2 is going to be 2 to the power of 3, right? Because 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, right? So this is going to be 2 to the power of 3, right? So what happens when you have the same bases? You equate the exponents, right? So you have the same basis, and then that means you are going to equate the exponents. So you have x is equals to 0 or x is equals to 3. Right, and that's it. So you are going to end here, because you are not dealing with sets, so you don't have to prove and take the true and the false answer. So you are going to end it here. So this is your correct answer. You have solved for x, and this is how you basically solve it. It was a relatively easy question. Whenever you don't really understand or you don't see what's happening, you must always use the K method. It's going to help you, right? So now let's go to another question.